German cars have history, Chinese cars have progress, and right now, progress is winning. Recent reliability rankings reveal something shocking. Some Chinese brands are now matching or even beating German automakers. So, what's changed? Is German engineering overrated? Or is China simply outworked the competition? It's time to face reality. German cars have always been praised for their engineering and performance, but when it comes to reliability, the numbers tell a different story. In Consumer Reports' 2023 survey, no German brand made it into the top 7. Porsche ranked 8th, BMW 9th, and others struggled. Audi placed 19th, Volkswagen 27th, and Mercedes-Benz 29th out of 30. Experts often point out that German brands focus on advanced technology and luxury, which can lead to more issues as the cars age. This pattern is common with high-end European vehicles. They start off strong but tend to develop more problems over time. In contrast, Japanese and Korean brands have consistently outperformed them in long-term dependability. Chinese automakers, once known for poor quality, have quickly changed that reputation. As recently as a few years ago, many buyers assumed Chinese cars were unreliable. Now the data shows otherwise. According to J.D. Power's 2024 initial quality study in China, domestic brands are nearly on par with global competitors. The study found that Chinese brands had 216 problems per 100 vehicles, just behind the 209 PP100 recorded by international automakers. Even more impressive, Chinese manufacturers have reduced their quality issues by about 10 PP100 in the past 2 years, while some premium foreign brands have seen their quality scores drop. Chinese vehicles have also been performing well in advanced driver assistance systems, even surpassing some luxury brands in this category. While there is still a gap between the best and worst Chinese automakers, the top brands are now competitive with leading Western and Japanese companies. 10 years ago, it would have been unthinkable to compare Chinese and German brands in terms of reliability. Today, some Chinese models are just as dependable, if not better. A 2024 dependability survey of 3 to 4-year-old vehicles in China ranked Hongqi, also known as Red Flag, as the top domestic brand, with 185 problems per 100 vehicles. BMW, by comparison, scored 171 PP100 in the same study. Other Chinese brands like WEY and Lynk & Co have also risen to the top of the domestic reliability rankings, proving that local manufacturers can match the quality of German joint venture models like Volkswagen and Audi. One area where Chinese automakers have taken the lead is electric vehicles. While German brands are still working to refine their EV technology, Chinese companies have already made major breakthroughs in reliability. A 2022 defect study ranked BYD, China's largest EV maker, 3rd overall for electric vehicle quality with a score of 127 points. Tesla, in contrast, scored 227 and fell well below the average. Multiple Chinese EV brands topped the list, proving their strength in building reliable electric powertrains. Buyers have noticed. Many now believe that Chinese cars offer better build quality and more features than German models while costing less. A recent study found that 85% of European consumers mistook a Chinese car for a Western brand in a blind test. When they assumed the car was German or Japanese, 88% rated it as reliable. This shows that much of the skepticism about Chinese cars is based on branding rather than actual performance. Not every Chinese automaker has reached this level. Some still struggle with reliability. MG, a once British brand now owned by China's SAIC, has expanded globally but placed last in a UK dependability ranking. These inconsistencies show that not all Chinese brands are on equal footing. However, setbacks like this are becoming rarer. Leading manufacturers such as BYD, Geely, which owns Volvo, and Chery have built strong reputations for durability. Newer brands like NIO, XPeng, and Great Wall's Aura have also focused on quality to compete internationally. Chinese cars weren't always known for reliability. Just a decade ago, buyers around the world hesitated to trust them. Many saw them as cheap alternatives to better-known brands, but they came with doubts about safety, durability, and quality. Today, that perception is changing fast. Chinese automakers have made massive improvements in reliability, and they've done it in record time. Some of their cars now match or even outperform brands that have dominated the market for decades. This transformation didn't happen by luck. It was driven by huge investments, smarter technology, government oversight, and relentless competition. One of the biggest reasons for this shift is money. Chinese manufacturers have poured billions into research and development. They haven't just worked on their own. They've bought stakes in major foreign brands, giving them instant access to world-class engineering. Geely, for example, owns Volvo and Lotus and has a stake in Mercedes' smart brand. These connections have helped Chinese automakers learn from companies with decades of experience in making reliable cars. At the same time, China's government has played a big role in pushing companies to improve. Regulators actively monitor defects and recalls, making sure manufacturers fix problems quickly. In 2022 alone, China's market watchdog received about 36,000 defect reports and oversaw 204 recalls affecting 4.48 million vehicles. That's nearly half the number of recalls from the previous year. It shows that automakers are improving, catching defects earlier, and preventing widespread issues. Technology has also played a huge role in making Chinese cars more reliable. Many Chinese brands jumped into electric vehicles earlier than their competitors. EVs have fewer moving parts than traditional internal combustion cars, which means there's simply less that can break. This gives them a natural advantage in reliability, but Chinese brands didn't stop there. They've also become world leaders in battery technology. BYD, one of China's biggest automakers, is also one of the top battery manufacturers in the world. Since the battery is the most crucial part of an electric car, having an edge in this area makes a huge difference. Chinese automakers have also mastered in-car software. Modern cars rely heavily on electronics, from touchscreens, infotainment to advanced driver assistance features. In the past, Chinese brands struggled with these systems, but now they're among the best in the industry. Some Chinese models even outperform German luxury brands when it comes to in-car technology. To win over skeptical buyers, Chinese automakers have also introduced some of the longest warranties in the industry. A long warranty isn't just a selling point, it's a statement of confidence. It tells buyers that the company believes in the quality of its cars. MG, for example, offers a 7-year factory warranty in Europe. This approach forces manufacturers to build durable cars because they will have to pay for any repairs. It's the same strategy that Hyundai and Kia used years ago when people doubted their reliability. Today, those brands are known for some of the most dependable cars on the market. Chinese automakers are now following that path, and it's working. The competitive nature of China's auto market has also driven reliability improvements at an incredible pace. Unlike established brands that take years to release new models, Chinese automakers work much faster. Dozens of brands are competing for customers, which means they will have to keep improving or risk being left behind. When problems arise, they don't wait for the next model generation to fix them. They make improvements immediately, releasing updated versions in record time. While moving too fast can sometimes create short-term issues, this rapid learning cycle has allowed Chinese brands to evolve at an incredible speed. Development cycles that used to take years are now happening in months. This kind of quick adaptation gives Chinese automakers an advantage that older companies with slower production cycles can't easily match. As Chinese automakers expand into global markets, they are facing tougher quality and safety standards. Selling cars in Europe, the Middle East, and other regions means undergoing strict third-party testing. In the past, some Chinese brands struggled to meet these requirements. Now, many have risen to the challenge. Several models have already earned 5-star safety ratings in Europe, proving they can meet the highest international standards. This global expansion is pushing Chinese automakers to build even better cars. They can no longer rely only on success in their home market. They have to compete with the best in the world. This pressure forces them to improve even further. For decades, German cars were known for their precision and durability. Mercedes, BMW, and Audi built their reputation on quality engineering. People saw them as reliable, luxurious, and worth the high price. But over the years, things started to change. German brands added more advanced technology, and while that made their cars more high-tech, it also made them more prone to problems. Repair costs went up, and surveys began to show a decline in dependability. Today, German cars still offer performance and status, but they are no longer the most reliable on the market. At the same time, something surprising happened. Chinese automakers, once mocked for low quality, turned things around. In just a few years, they went from making cheap knockoffs to producing vehicles that compete with and sometimes outperform German brands. According to JD Power, the reliability of new Chinese cars is now nearly equal to Western and Japanese brands. Some German models have even slipped behind. Mercedes and Audi, once seen as leaders, rank near the bottom of Consumer Reports' reliability lists. In some areas, Chinese cars have already taken the lead. Electric vehicles are a perfect example. BYD, one of China's biggest EV makers, reported fewer issues than Tesla in a 2022 study. Some German EVs had even more problems. When it comes to high-tech features, Chinese automakers are also pulling ahead. Driver assistance systems in top Chinese models scored better than those in German luxury cars. In China itself, where Mercedes and BMW used to dominate, local buyers now say that homegrown EVs are better built and more dependable. German brands have started losing market share fast. So how did this happen? 4 big reasons. First, Chinese automakers invested huge amounts in research and development, often hiring top engineers from Western brands. Second, they focused on electric drivetrains, which have fewer moving parts and fewer failure points than traditional petrol engines. Third, they introduced longer warranties, some lasting 7 years or more, forcing them to improve durability. Fourth, government regulation and strict global safety tests pushed them to build higher quality cars. The old stereotype of Chinese cars being cheap and unreliable no longer applies. That doesn't mean German cars are finished. They still offer prestige, strong performance, and a driving experience that many people love. But when it comes to reliability, the tables are turning. The best Chinese cars are already matching or beating German models, and the gap is only going to widen. As the world moves towards electric vehicles, Chinese automakers have their advantage. They aren't just catching up, they're forcing German brands to rethink their future. The battle between German and Chinese cars is just getting started. With EVs leading the way, the future of the auto industry is changing fast. But speaking of electric vehicles, Elon Musk just got some big news about the Cybertruck in the UK. Is Tesla's most controversial vehicle about to take over Europe? Watch this next video to find out.